Hey friends, Dan Razumov is here, and today I wanted to record literally a couple-minute video to let you know that there has been, and you may have heard about it, but there has been a huge attack on the internet to basically the WordPress sites. I manage a few WordPress sites for my clients, and I also have a few sites of my own. Um, and fortunately enough, none of those have been hacked yet. But if you have a WordPress blog or a website, there is a potential that it can get hacked if you're not securing it correctly. What I mean by that is that if you don't have a secure login, there's literally thousands and thousands of websites that have been affected, and the hosting companies themselves are emailing clients indicating that, saying that, hey, there have been an attack on WordPress websites, and you need to take preventive measures if you haven't been affected to avoid that in the future. So I wanted to do a quick walkthrough of what I would suggest that you use with your login to basically prevent yourself from being hacked, because a lot of times it's not the WordPress itself that is vulnerable, or that there's an open window or a door somewhere where people can get in through the code. It's more often that the scripts are used to simply hack and keep trying different user password combinations. And obviously nobody's typing it manually. They have scripts that do that, and they could enter millions of different variations, and once they get in the account, that they can do a lot of damage to your website. So first thing is, I would strongly suggest, if we get to the actual practical application of this, is don't use the word admin as your admin login. Alright? So do not use admin. Okay? That is the commonly used username, and you do not want to do that, as that is the one being addressed and used by hackers a lot. So what I would say is use something that you can remember. In my case, I have many different websites, WordPress installations. So I try to use a different admin every single time. Now you might be saying, well, how in the world am I going to remember all this? And then let me get to that towards the end of the video. But I would say, if whatever your website is called, let's just say whatever, I mean, Dan's blog, right? So I would use, if I have a website, I have a danrazumov.com, for example. My admin would be Dan Razumov, right? But there. Or I can even do something like, if you want to use admin, right, I would do Razumov admin, right? So that would be my username. You definitely want it to be more than just five characters long. You want it to be unique just to that blog, because if there's a way to link all of your blogs together, there's a high possibility that it could be recorded, and the same username will be tried again and again, and see, okay, he's using that username, maybe it's the same on all the other blogs. So I would say you be unique in your username, right? So something that you can, like, you can literally, if you have multiple sites, right, if I have a money-making site, then I would say it's a money-making website admin, something like that, something that's unique to that particular domain or login um, on that specific site. Alright, so that's as far as the username goes. Now, when it comes to password, alright, so let me just say usernames. Can't type today. Usernames, alright, so do not use admin. And use something that's unique, alright, so let's just say unique to each website. Now that obviously applies to usernames, and that applies to passwords as well. So let's talk about passwords. Now there's a good practice for passwords. Now, let me give you the generic rule of a secure password. It has to have a letter, right? Or yeah, I would say a letter. a number, let's see, a number, 3 special character, and upper/lower case. And in fact, this applies to letters, but it's a separate rule. So this is the 4 main structures, or the 4 main things that need to be in your password. So let me give you an example. For example, a lot of people use the name of their dog or their daughter or their mom or whatever, something very simple, very short. Oh, and let me actually add number 5 in here. Speaking of short passwords, at least 8 characters long. All right, I would say five rules that I would consider safe. So let me give you an example. Something that has both, right? So the letter, number, special character, upper lowercase, at least 8 characters long. The easiest way to use numbers is to substitute words for numbers. For example, the word 2 or the word 4 or are the most common ones, right? So if I would come up with the password that has all of the above, I would say something. Oh, let me actually give you a hint on what many people recommend to use when you create a password is to pick a phrase that you can remember, right? So pick a phrase, and that could be your phrase that you can refer to make a difficult password. What do I mean by that? For example, let's say I want to sleep when I am tired, right? That's my phrase. So I always start a sentence with a capital letter, or I always start a password with a capital letter, or when I type in the I, it's always capital. So I always keep my I capital. So I would say I want, right? There's a W, to sleep when I am tired, right? So I have lowercase, I have uppercase, my password is already 8 characters long, and I don't have any special characters. So what I would do is I would add an exclamation point or sign or whatever you want towards the end, and let's say I always start my passwords with squared brackets, or I put all my passwords in a squared bracket, right? So there's your secure password. Right, that's one example. If there's a general rule, for example, I start all my passwords with a square bracket and I add them, or I finish them with a dash, right? That applies in every single case. So that part I don't need to remember. That's always the case, right? So that there's already 2 characters you will never forget. You always start with a square bracket, always finish with a dash, or you always put your password in dashes or in the exclamation, right? Because this is important. So I'm going to put exclamation on both sides of my password. So anything like that would be almost, I mean, there's nothing impossible, but this would be very close to impossible for somebody to guess or to hack into your login. So use something like this. I would strongly suggest that if you do use WordPress, that you take this precaution very seriously. I will also post a link to a WordPress guide on how to create secure passwords so that you can reference that as well. But I thought I'd pass this along and just kind of hopefully help you out and prevent your websites from being hacked into. Another thing I want to show you is how to keep your passwords safe and how not to forget them. I use a program called 1Password. That's what it looks like in my computer, right? 1Password. And besides the fact that you can keep all your passwords safe on your computer, it allows you to share these or to keep them in the remote location, like on Dropbox, and securely locked. So you can actually access your passwords if you're away from home, if you know how to do that. Another best thing about this software, and of course I don't get anything from promoting it, but I just find it very useful, so I want to share it with you. It has a plugin for every browser, and every time you log in, it can save your password so you don't have to remember it. right? It saves it, and then you simply click this link, right? You click the icon, you find the login that you wanted to use, and it enters your username, password, and wherever else is needed automatically for you. So you don't even have to type it in. You just choose which login to use, and it will do that for you. So let me actually go to one as in number one, onepassword.com, so that you can take a look. So this is the company. I would strongly recommend going there and checking out. They have a demo, and you can see how it works. But this is what I use, and I have several hundred different logins. Obviously, I can't remember all of them, and this program allows me to keep them all safe, and I can reach them and find them within literally seconds from any browser or just by opening this application. Not only do I keep passwords in there, I keep all of my software security keys in here, activation licenses. I can keep my credit card info in here if I wanted to, so that I don't have to enter it manually every single time. I basically choose it and say, okay, enter my main Visa numbers, and it populates all the fields that I need. Again, whether you want to go to that extent is up to you, but the possibility is there. So I hope you found this useful. Definitely use this to your advantage. Stay safe, and let's get connected if we're not yet connected on Facebook or wherever, and have a great day. All right? Bye, guys.